Hello, Geometry kids. This is 7-7. We are at the end of Unit 7, so congratulations on making it this far. So, last but not least, we're talking about equations of circles. So what happens, how do I graph a circle in the coordinate plane, which you guys love to call a graph? So that's kind of what we're looking at here. So when we look at the equation of a circle, what are we talking about here? Well, so if I've got a circle in the coordinate plane, the center is called HK. The radius is always a radius is always a radius. All right, so all I'm going to do is this. My equation is going to look like this. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Now, if I were you, I would circle this, put big stars around it, because this is kind of the big idea that we're talking about here, okay? H comma K is the center. Okay, so H is the X value, K is the Y value. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at. X minus H squared plus Y minus K squared equals R squared. So write the equation of a circle with a center of 1, -8, and a radius of 7. Okay, so that's just going to be X minus 1 squared plus, now it's Y minus a -8 equals 7 squared. So it's going to be x minus 1 squared plus y plus 8 squared equals 7 squared. Notice you don't have to put 49. You could put 49. I just leave it as 7 squared. So for number 2, write the equation of a circle with a center at 4, -1, and a diameter at 8. Now, diameter does not mean radius, but remember, it's just half of that, so the radius is going to be 4. So you're going to go x minus 4 squared plus y plus 1 squared. Remember, it's y minus a -1, and that's going to be equal to 4 squared, or I'll just put 16 this time. So read the problem. It says diameter, it doesn't say radius. Write the equation of a circle with a center at the origin and a radius of square root of 10. So origin is 0, 0. So if I follow the rules, it becomes x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals square root of 10 squared. So x minus 0 is just x, y minus 0 is just y, square root of 10 squared is just 10. So there's my answer, really. Kind of simple. So write the equation of a circle with a center at -1, 1, and passes through 2, 4. So then graph the circle. So at -1, 1, I'm right here. That's my center. Okay, that part's easy. X plus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared. So now the circle goes through -2, 4, which is up here. So I need to figure out the radius, the distance between those two. Okay, because that's going to be my radius. So distance formula, hey, that never goes away. Let's keep, you saw it in algebra, you saw it again in geometry, so we got to figure that out. So distance becomes x minus x squared plus y minus y squared. So it's going to be -2 minus -1 squared plus 4 minus 1 squared. Square root that, so that becomes 1 plus 9 square root, so it becomes square root of 10. So my radius becomes square root of 10. So radius squared becomes square root of 10 squared. Okay, so final equation here, I would write x plus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 10. Boom, there you go. Now, remember distance formula, that came back, so you're probably going to want that. So if the equation of the circle is this, state the center and the radius. So the center here, let's see, it's going to be +4, -1. It's going to be the opposite of what's there. Radius, remember, this is equal to r squared. So r squared equals 9. Square root both sides, so r is going to be equal to 3. So there's my center and there's my radius. So for number 6, what's the circle? What's the center? That's the radius. The center is going to be 0, 0. And the radius, remember, I want square root of 25, so my radius is going to be 5. So write the equation of a circle with a center at 2, -1, passes through 0, 0, then graph the circle. So that's going to be back up. No, don't do that. Start with x. X minus 2 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals whatever my radius is. Well, to figure that out, I have to do distance formula again. All right, so I go x minus x, so 2 minus 0 squared plus -1 minus 0 squared. This should be pretty easy. That's 4 plus 1. I get square root of 5. So my radius squared then would just be 5. So now let's graph. So at 2, -1, 0. Okay, so that means it's going to go like that all the way around. So it's going to look something like that. So write the equation of a circle where the diameter is this. So 5, -4, 5, 7. So I need to figure out the distance and cut it in half, or look at a graph and see if that helps me. So distance, so you want halfway between there. So hey, actually I want midpoint. So to figure out my center, I want the midpoint. So what I want is 5 plus 5 divided by 2 and -4 plus 7 divided by 2. So that's going to be 5. -4 plus 7 is 3, so this is going to be 1.5. So there's my center. All right, now, so that's going to be x minus 5 squared plus y minus 1.5 squared equals whatever my radius is. So now I can do it a couple different ways. I can take my midpoint and take a point and figure out the distance, or I can take the distance between these two and just divide it by 2. So I'll just do that. So 5 minus 5 becomes 0 squared plus -4 minus 7 squared. So that's going to give me square root of 121 because this is just 0. This is really -11. Squared is 121. So that's going to be 11 divided by 2. So my distance is going to be 5.5. So 5.5 squared is 30.25. So final equation here, x minus 5 squared plus y minus 1.5 squared equals 30.25. Remember, this represents the radius squared. Okay, that's all I got. Play around with this, get comfortable with it, and figure out what you're doing. We'll talk to you later.